Upon the dissolution of a marriage, the court initiates the process of redistributing money and property between the parties. To accomplish this, the court has broad discretion to order ongoing support, known as periodical payments. This mechanism ensures stability, but it also ties the parties together financially long after the marriage has legally ended. Pushing against this ongoing tie is a specific statutory principle designed to sever the financial relationship, the clean break. This is the text of Section 25A of the Matrimonial Causes Act 1973. The statute requires the court to consider whether it would be appropriate to terminate financial obligations as soon as is just and reasonable. A common legal misconception is that this creates an automatic mandate. It does not. It does not. Section 25A imposes a statutory duty to consider a clean break, but it does not guarantee one will be enforced. Balancing this statutory push for a clean break against the practical realities of financial disparity is the central mechanical challenge of family law proceedings. To sever ongoing support, the court must balance two distinct categories of financial resources. The first category is capital assets. This pool includes physical property, cash lump sums, and pensions. The second category is income streams. This encompasses a party's future earning capacity and any ongoing periodical payments. Because ongoing periodical payments require a continuous transfer of money from one ex-spouse to the other, they prevent a clean break. Engineering a clean break therefore requires the court to use available capital assets to buy out future income streams. Before a clean break can be considered under Section 25A, the court must first apply the factors listed in Section 25 of the Act. The baseline for this assessment is the welfare of any minor children of the family. The statute dictates that this element receives first consideration. Immediately following child welfare, the court assesses the specific income, earning capacity, and financial needs of both parties. Over time, case law has established that the court must also apply principles of sharing and compensation. Landmarks like the White and Miller-McFarland decisions dictate that marriage is a partnership of equals. However, there is a hierarchy to these principles. If sharing the assets equally leaves one party without enough to meet their basic financial needs, those needs will prevail over an equal split. The Section 25 needs assessment creates a strict mathematical floor. A clean break cannot be engineered if it forces a party to fall below this baseline. An immediate clean break is only possible when the total capital resources exceed both parties' assessed needs. This visualization illustrates the primary mechanism the court uses to achieve this: capitalization. The court calculates the lifetime value of the required maintenance and substitutes that ongoing obligation with a single upfront lump sum order. Property adjustment orders, such as transferring the entirety of the family home to the financially weaker spouse, are also utilized in this capitalization process. When successful, capitalization dismisses all future claims, satisfying the Section 25A duty to sever ties without violating the Section 25 needs floor. In practice, most divorces lack the capital required for immediate capitalization. There is rarely enough in the pot to offset the need for ongoing periodical payments. When an immediate severance is impossible, the statute offers an alternative: the deferred clean break under Section 25A, subsection 2. Rather than issuing an open-ended order, the court limits the periodical payments to a specific fixed term. To impose this limit, the court must be satisfied the recipient can transition to financial independence without undue hardship. This fixed term provides a runway. It allocates a set number of years for a spouse to retrain, re-enter the workforce, or for children to finish their education. A deferred clean break shifts the risk of future financial uncertainty. Once the term expires, the burden transfers entirely onto the recipient. The court enforces finality through a specific mechanism, the Section 28(1)A bar. If this bar is attached to a fixed-term order, the recipient is legally blocked from applying to extend the payments, regardless of how their circumstances change. This matrix compares case law outcomes, starting with the precedent of Hedges versus Hedges. Here, a marriage of 4.5 years resulted in a brief 18-month term. The court applied the bar to push the spouse towards securing better employment. Contrast this with Waterman versus Waterman. The court determined the bar was inappropriate here because the presence of young children created genuine future uncertainty. In Flavel versus Flavel, the court set another boundary. Forcing a termination was ruled inappropriate for an older spouse who lacked significant capital and earning capacity. Finally, in M versus M, a clean break was deemed unjust after a 20-year marriage for a party unable to reasonably support themselves, resulting in an open-ended joint lives order. Appellate precedent restricts the strict application of the clean break when it conflicts with vulnerable realities. It proves the clean break is a goal, not an absolute right. This flowchart illustrates how the process synthesizes into a singular judicial logic tree. The first node is always to assess Section 25 needs. If capital assets are sufficient to offset future income needs, the path leads to an immediate clean break through capitalization. If capital is insufficient, but the party can adjust without undue hardship over time, the logic follows a path to a deferred clean break. If neither condition is met, the path leads to an open-ended joint lives order, keeping financial ties intact. Acting upon this matrix is a public policy check. The state has a vested interest in ensuring divorced parties are not left destitute and reliant on public welfare. While Section 25A directs parties toward independence, the principle remains subordinate to the court's primary objective of fairness and the realities of human need.